Before we jump into today's video, which is a banger, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Arnold2796. He hit Master 1 with Floowandereeze on July 29th. I hit it on July 30th, so, brother, good job. Using Floowandereeze in Season 19 was no easy feat, but he shouts me out, gives a pretty nice breakdown of the deck, and has some replays and links my YouTube channel. So I appreciate that. I will link this Master Duel meta page for you guys in the description as well if you want to take a look at Arnold's deck list and his analysis here. And brother, I gave you a quick shout out, so I hit Master 1 as well using the DieFi. I'm going to be posting that and analyzing it right now, so let's get straight into today's Master 1 video. We have achieved Master Rank 1 in Season 19 of Master Duel less than 24 hours before the season closes. If you look at my match history, I stayed up very late into the night on that Saturday night into Sunday morning, basically almost at 4 a.m. And played out some matches to get into Master Rank 1. I was, like I said, very busy on Saturday, was at a party, had to clean up, so it was already almost like 1, 2 a.m. and then I just decided to grind out a couple of matches, and then I went to sleep, and yeah, less than 24 hours later, we are waiting for the season to close, but we did hit Master 1 because I don't know if I would be able to play today on the Sunday. It's already like halfway through the day. Nonetheless though, let's get straight into the deck list. I did revert back to something that I was using last season for Master 2, while Fossil Dyna put in a lot of work in Master Rank 4 and 3. Master Rank 2, I didn't run into, like, I don't even think a single sprite. It's crazy. I ran into a lot of tier, like probably mostly tier, a couple stun, and maybe like 1 or 2 Gene Raiders, but then the distant second deck to tier, maybe 70% tier, was branded and branded variants like Bestial, branded Thunder Dragon, branded, etc. And so this list was much better in Master Rank 2. It did take me over 20 matches. I did win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. I'd never D-ranked, thankfully, but I was always actually +2, but I just couldn't get like the final 3 wins until I switched back to this deck, and then I was able to just win like 4 in a row and yeah, just take it really, really easily. So taking a look at this list, we're back on 1 DD Crow as a searchable interruption off of Robina. Again, seeing tier most of the time, I'm like, I'm just going to go for the anti-tier stuff. So this didn't come up, but it is a good tech option. Floowandereeze and Eaglin at 3, obviously, Robina at 3, Stree still at 1, and Toucan at 2. This was the ratio that always worked for me. I never ran 2 Stree, but there is a case to be made 2 run 2 Stree and 1 Toucan. Totally up to you, but I like this ratio, and there was some scenarios where this double Toucan came in clutch, whereas if I was running double Stree and 1 Toucan, I would have probably lost. Of course, 2 Dimension Shifter, 1 Apex, 1 Ryza. You could opt for 2 here, like in Arnold's list. That is totally viable. Snarl definitely has limited viability. It's better in the grind game, but you should never really reach the grind game with this deck, because either you win very fast now or you lose very fast thanks to only 1 Empin, right? Empin is the thing that helps you extend and grind out the game. So with your Empin on board already, it's kind of like having the second Ryza can be helpful, because putting it on field and bouncing 2 cards while still having a Ryza in your deck to search out for that bring back so you can keep reusing it is actually very beneficial, because you're turn 1.5, if you go first and then you pass your opponent's turn, you activate your Dreaming Town, having the Ryza double bounce instead of the double Empin can actually make up a little bit for the lack of the double Empin. So I can definitely see the case for 2 Ryza. It's also just a rare, and this is an ultra, but Arnold did hit Master 1 with double Ryza, so it is viable. Of course, we're still running Gold Sark, double Pot of Duality, triple Pot of Extravagance, 1 Pot of Prosperity. That's all standard. 1 map. Wish we had 2 still, but hey, it is what it is. And then back on the triple dimensional fissure, this card can really shut down tier, even going second. If you just drop this like as soon as main phase 1 starts, it shuts off a lot of their extension plays. It makes them force out their crime negate so that you can evenly. It makes them rethink, do I want to Sulic or not, because my card's gonna get banished. It does a lot. Against going first, this card is like FTK against tier if they can't clear it, pretty much. And like I said, if you're mostly facing tier, you definitely want to go back on this card. I've already showcased matches previously where banishing effects like Under Shifter have really detrimental effects against branded, since they rely on the Bestial package, which needs to interact with the graveyard in order to play, obviously. And so again, Dimensional Fissure shuts down the branded fusion into the Bestial Lubellion and Albaz play into the Albion, the branded dragon. And so they can't get their Bestial engine running. They have to go for very awkward plays if you set up this first. And then of course Mirror Jade can't send for cost the Albion, so this shuts off the Mirror Jade banish effect as well, and the follow-up effect for Albion going to graveyard. So a lot of utility against branded, and like I said, those are the 2 most common decks, probably 70% tier in Master 2, and like maybe 15-20% branded, and then a mix of like I said, Gene Raider and Stun and all this other stuff. Double unexplored winds, you can make a case for 3. Triple Book of Moon, just because I did see the need to dodge Sulik, because like I said, tier was pretty common. Dodge Dragostapelia from Branded, because they would make that, and Dragostapelia from tier even. And also Imperms. Imperms were common in Tearlaments, so I was seeing an increase in Tearlament, whereas in Master 3 I wasn't seeing it, so I was back on 3 Book of Moon. Of course, triple Advent of Adventure, triple Evenly Matched, and double Dreaming Town once again. Just again, opening one of these 2 traps just makes it so much better with the 1 Empin, because then you could search out a second or even a third potential power spell, and once you get all 3 of these power spells in rotation, spells and traps, it's really, really hard to beat Floowandereeze. So Konami, again, I'm going to say it every video, please bring back Empin 2, 3. We do need it. It is the core of the engine. The extract does not matter. You know, just have some with Zeus line. So I did Slacker Magician or Assemble Nightingale. Never came up once in all of my master run. Downward and Zeus. Everything else is just like utility cards to out Floodgates. So this outs Baguska. This can out, you know, a zombie world or something. You know, so just whatever it is you need to play. So that is the deck list. We are going to go ahead and take a look at some of these matches, both with my old deck list and with the new one. So let's get straight into it now and see how these matches went. Alright, in this very first matchup, we have an opening hand of Goldsark, Double Duality, Advent of Adventure, and Dreaming Town going second. The opponent, though, ends with just set 1 pass, and I'm like, holy cow, is this finally my opponent bricking? Because this never happens, but obviously it always happens to me playing Floowandereeze. Thankfully, off of the Duality, we do reveal a bird, which can be used with Advent of Adventure, but we actually don't need to use this now, because we can Goldsark away for Robina and normal summon Toucan, and if this is an Imperm, which it most likely is, we can use the Advent to dodge it by normal summoning that Toucan. So you might think, well, why wouldn't you take Di-Fi here? You said it's so good against Tearlament in your decklist analysis. It is, but I need cards to actually play the game, and the opponent is clearly bricked here. I'm putting them on Ash Blossom, hand traps, you know, maxis, etc. So let's see what happens here. Like I said, Goldsark away for Robina. Toucan target Robina. Do not activate Robina effect, because I actually want to bait out the Imperm. The opponent lets it resolve, so we get Robina back to hand, and sure enough, that's exactly what they do. But like I said, we have the answer, and we were anticipating that, right? Half of this game is reading your opponent, and so we do exactly what we need to and activating the Advent. The opponent just didn't even want to deal with the follow-up, and they scoop, giving me an easy win. So after that last match, I was like, that's kind of cool that I was able to take a kind of an easy win there. It would be really nice if I could win this next coin toss and then win the game and be on my rank up game. And sure enough, I do end up winning the coin toss. I start off with the D Fissure right away. The opponent reveals that they are on Labrynth, pitching the Stovey Torby and a Maxi for cost. Look at this. They probably saw the Fissure and they were like, you're on Stun or Floowandereeze, I'm just pitching the Maxi. This gets pitched for cost. So on the same chain link, before anything resolves, they will not get banished. Even though I changed Shifter here, the opponent again changed Chandelier, which again does not get banished because nothing has resolved to banish cards yet. So they're able to get their furniture in the graveyard, which is actually pretty strong, as well as a Welcome Labrynth, which is resettable. But the reason I changed Shifter after I see the furniture is because exactly what you just saw them set to the field. This big Welcome Labrynth has too much utility in the graveyard. We want to get this banished for good. We don't even want you to get the secondary effect to banish it from your graveyard. We're just going to banish you as soon as you activate, right? Let's get it off the field right away. They will be able to have one shot to recur their furniture and play through, but they, for some odd reason, set the Labrynth field spell. My guess is they played 2 Welcome Labrynth and they drew both, because there's no other reason why you wouldn't go for double Welcome Labrynth traps here. So yeah, we're gonna activate map, banish Robina, summon Toucan, and just use Toucan effect to grab back Robina, since I don't have to worry about effect Veiler really, because it can't go to graveyard, or Imperm because they have a set card on, or cards on the field now. But I just have to hope that when I normal summon this Robina, they do not have Ash, and thankfully they do not as their final card. So we're gonna go ahead and rotate now into the Empin off of the Eaglin here. And I did I want to go for Ryza because I could spin back this big Welcome, but then they're gonna draw for turn set. And then during my turn, they just trigger all their effects anyway. So I think the end result would have been the same. I didn't want to waste time really trying to overanalyze everything, so I just went for Empin. And I'm like, it's just safer for me to set up Trap card right now. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. But there is a case to be made, I think, if I thought this through more, that you could go for a Ryza play. But let me know in the comment section below. Do you think it's better to go for Empin here and set up Trap, or go for Ryza? Regardless, yeah, we end up passing. So on turn 0, the opponent has a decent setup. They draw for turn, and they're going to activate Welcome, or Labrynth, the field spell. And we're going to chain our Dreaming Town here. Again, a little bit of a misplay, because I'm like, oh yeah, like on the chain of Labrynth, before you can get the utility off of Big Welcome to, you know, pop a card with Labrynth. I'll chain my Dreaming Town. However, I forgot that, you know, yeah, it's gonna start a new chain, bird, and then yeah, you can activate your trap in response. So that's exactly what happens, and the opponent brings out Lovely. So again, a very odd play. Did they draw Silver for turn or something? But yeah, I think you normally would bring out Silver there, or even Ariana, so that you can at least normal summon it. But I guess Ariana doesn't make sense, because if you normal summon Ariana, I trigger Map here, right? So you're kind of in a tough spot here. But the opponent is going to activate Labrynth to out the Empin, and this is where the double Toucan comes in clutch. Just like I mentioned in the deck list video. If I didn't have double Toucan here, I think I lose, right? Because there's no way for me to get this Toucan out of the off the field at this moment without tributing over it, and then my summoning is over. So I summon Robina. Okay, I know they have Welcome Labrynth and 2 mystery cards in hand. Or so not Welcome Labrynth, Lovely Labrynth, and 2 mystery cards in hand, right? They're going to rotate through their cards here in the graveyard, double Furniture and Welcome Labrynth, and then we chain Robina, hoping that the opponent didn't draw Ash for turn, and thankfully they do not. The Robina searches the second Toucan, and the opponent's going to reset their cards, gets Chandelier back to hand, so we know Lovely and Chandelier, and gets Stovey Torby back to field. And again, they're under Shifter and they're under D-Fissure, right? Yeah, this says you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard and discard 1 card. So because you have to send it to graveyard for cost, you can't activate Furniture here anymore under Fissure or under Shifter. And then all your traps are getting banished, which means once you activate this Labrynth, Welcome Labrynth, it's going to get banished just like the big Welcome. As long as you're under Shifter, which at this point I have double Shifter in hand, or well, 1 in hand and 1 in graveyard. I'm going to be able to cycle Shifter and clear my graveyard out with the Ryza. And even if I'm in a tough spot, I can stree away 1 and just use the second one, right? So I'm going to constantly keep your traps banished, make your Furniture useless, out your cards with Unexplored Winds, which I'm about to search off of this Empin here that I'm recurring with the Toucan. Double Tribute, of course. Toucan coming in really clutch there, getting the Eaglin back and grabbing the Unexplored Winds for follow-up next turn. Double Tribute for Ryza. Ryza's going to spin back the Labrynth Field Spell, which puts you on, hey, your Welcome Labrynth better do work here. And yeah, there are 2 cards in hand. We know Lovely's kind of useless, and so is the Chandelier now. What can you do with these other 2 cards? And the opponent's like, nothing, you got it, I'm scooping. And just like that, after about 2 hours worth of play, I'm on my very first rank up game to get to Master 1. So I have no idea why I was nervous, but I was just like, please give me a good opening hand. I win the coin toss and I actually get a banger, probably like the best hand possible. The game was like, you've been playing for 2 hours and you've been shafting yourself because you were playing a deck that wasn't really good for the meta in Master 2. You know, you're bricking a lot. They give me Empin opening, so even if I get negated, I have Map and Empin, the one-ofs. I can play around interruptions here. So I start off with Map, banish Eaglin, normal summon Robina. Robina 1, Eaglin 2, of course, play around Ash for this one here, grab the Toucan, normal summon Eaglin. If this gets Ash or Imperm, that's fine, normal summon for turn Empin, and I can chain block that, so they need like, you know, Ash and then Imperm to stop me, so 2 hand traps, or like double Imperm, right? So I'm feeling pretty good. The opponent apparently has nothing. We're going to go ahead, summon that Empin, and you know, our M board is going to feel kind of lackluster here, but like I said in the deck list video, why I updated the deck list, I'm seeing a lot of Tearlaments, and I have Shifter in my opening hand. It is a little risky here, and I was thinking about this. I'm like, it is risky to pass turn without Shiftering, because if they have Call by the Grave, if I Shifter and they Call by it, you know, that's lost utility. Whereas if I Shifter during my turn, they can't Call by, right? They could Gamma, I guess, technically, but you know, Tearlament doesn't usually run Gamma. So this was a risk passing, but the risk of using Shifter on my turn is that they see that, yeah, they're under Shifter and they go for like a Baguska play, but I guess they couldn't really do that because it would require a normal summon, or usually require a normal summon, but I would just Dreaming Town them anyways. So I guess the better option would have been to Shifter during my turn, but I played a little risky. They reveal King of the Swamp, discard for cost, so I, you know, no point in chaining Shifter there, grab Polymerization, then they're going to activate Scream, and I'm like, when I saw the King of the Swamp, I was like, thank goodness, please do not have Called by. And then I saw the Scream and I was like, yes, they're going to go ahead Sharon, and I'm going to just chain Shifter right here. And I'm like, I don't even want you to mill 3 off Sharon, let alone wait for you to activate Scream and all that stuff. And then the opponent just ends up scooping. and I was just like, holy crap, I cannot believe I actually just won that to hit Master 1 on my first rank up game after, yeah, like coming into play at like 1 a.m. after cleaning up, and then just playing for like, yeah, almost 2 a.m. is when I finished, and then playing almost until 4 a.m. here. Yeah, I didn't get much sleep today, let's just say that. It's like midday Sunday. I gotta reset my sleep schedule for work on Monday, but yeah, those were the matches to hit Master 1, and stay tuned. I'll be posting some more of the grindy gameplay from earlier. But if you like this video, I'd appreciate a like. Thank you again for watching, guys. That's it for Season 19. Until next time, Quantum is out.